This is an audio test to the live stream. Checking audio to the live stream. This is the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting, February 21, 2024.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4:30. Dario, I will start this meeting on your mark. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4:30. Today is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. This is the regularly scheduled Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees meeting. Item 1.1, we're calling the meeting to order. Item 1.2, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Here.
Herlinda Chico. Vivian Malaulu.
Here.
Uduakjo Intuk. Sunny Zia.
Item 1.3, are there any public comments on closed session items?
No speaker cards received.
Item 1.4, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, Government Code Section 54957B1, Title Superintendent President. This is a discussion possible action item. Item 1.5, Conference with Labor Negotiator, negotiation item pursuant to Government Code Section 3549.1, 5497.6, 54954.5, District Designated Representative Vivian Malaulu, Unrepresented Employee Superintendent President. This is a discussion possible action item. And now we will recess item 1.6 to close session at 4:31 p.m. Dario, it is 5:29. We'll start at 5:30 on your mark. And roll. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 5:30. We would like to reconvene to open session. I am calling this meeting back to order. That's we're in section 2 on the agenda. That was item 2.1. And now for item 2.2, I'd like to invite Dr. Urania Freeman to come up and lead us in the flag salute. Wherever you like.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Freeman. Item 2.3, land acknowledgement. Long Beach City College acknowledges our presence on the traditional ancestral land of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. This land remains unceded territory. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this territory. Long Beach City College honors and respects the Gabrielino Tongva ancestors and their connection to this land. Item 2.4, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Student trustee Manetta. Virginia Baxter.
Here.
Herlinda Chico. Vivian Malauulu.
Here.
Uduak-Joe Ntuk. Sunny Zia.
Here.
For section 2.5, I do have a report out on closed session item, I believe it is 1.4. Is that correct, Board Council? For item 1.4, this is report out of our discussion and action. The Board of Trustees met in closed session this evening regarding agenda item 1.4 regarding Dr. Mike Munoz's employment evaluation. The Board of Trustees evaluated Dr. Munoz on August 9th, 2023 per the terms of his employment agreement as amended with the district, and at that time, the BOT unanimously deemed Dr. Munoz's job performance satisfactory and exceeds our expectations. This job performance evaluation result applies retroactively, is the basis for Dr. Munoz to receive retroactive to July 1, 2023, a step 3% increase from Dr. Munoz's base salary of $325,008 to $334,758 as set forth in the First Amendment of Dr. Munoz's employment agreement with the district. There is no other reportable action regarding this agenda item or the subsequent one, 1.5. And now we will move on to item 2.6, public comment on agenda items. A total of 3 minutes will be allotted to each speaker with a maximum of 20 minutes per subject. Any requests?
No speaker requests.
Thank you. Item 2.7, reordering of the agenda. Would anyone like to make a request? Item 2. That was it. Section 3 on the agenda. We do have a resolution today. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication and we don't have the actual physical resolution, but we promise that we're going to make good on it. Today's resolution is regarding Black History Month. I do need a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion by trustee Ntuk, second by trustee Baxter, that the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution 02-21224A, recognizing Black History Month as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so we do have members of the Black History Month Planning Committee. I'd like to invite them to please say a few words. We have Dr. Jerome Hunt, who is here on the dais, and then Dr. Irania Freeman, who we just heard from and led us in the flag salute. Please join us on the mic, and then afterward, we will stand with the photo op and pretend to have a resolution.
Good evening, Board President Malauulu, Superintendent President Munoz, and distinguished board members. On behalf of the Black History Month Committee, I would like to thank you for your continued support of the Black African American community here at LBCC. This year, we are proud to say that we had the greatest number of attendees at our kickoff event. This shows us the immense importance of having a space where our Black African American faculty, staff, and students can feel welcome, seen, and validated. The Black History Month Committee has created engaging, supportive programs and events this month. Our students had the opportunity to experience and learn African dance and the history of drumming from a community-based African drumming and dance company. Our campus community has explored the joys of Black love and had a conversation on healthy, loving relationships. And next week, we will keep it 100 by discussing balancing work, family, and career. This has been a fantastic month of programming, and because of the support from the college, we continually can provide high-quality services, supports, and programming for our Black African American community here at LBCC. While the month is almost over, we still do have a number of creative, supportive programs and events that we hope that you and the community will attend. On February 27th at 1 p.m. in the Nordic Lounge, we'll be having a film screening of If Beale Street Could Talk. And we'll close out the month with our third annual Performing Arts Showcase on February 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Nordic Lounge as well. So overall, this has been a fantastic month of programming, and we appreciate your support and leadership. Thank you.
Dr. Freeman, will you like to say a few words?
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you all for your support. This has been an amazing month. It's been filled with activity, events, and I can honestly say in the 20-something years that I've been here, this year's event was the most exciting, and it just felt like you felt the energy and the positive vibes from the moment you walked into the room until the end. And you can always tell when people are having a good time when they don't want to leave. So people stayed to the very end, the music stopped, and people were still there. So thank you all for your support.
Thank you both for being here. I would like to add that I try to attend as many of these events as possible, and I said it while I was there. It was the highest attended cultural event that I've ever seen, and I've been to all of them. So, you know, there was just kudos to you and your committee and whoever it was that was supporting you to get the people out, but there were so many people there, and it was just a joy to see. The space was full, so thank you for that. And please join us, we're gonna take a photo. Moving on to section 4 on the agenda, standing reports. 4.1, ASB President Report. Our ASB President, Coco Dobard, is not with us this evening. However, she did send a representative on her behalf. It is our LAC Vice President, G. Gonzalez. Come on up, G.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. As you heard, I'm the LAC Vice President, and I am filling in for President Dobard. In our report, our first is the LAC Join a Club Day was today in the Nordic Lounge. Clubs came out to create long-lasting communities and inform students, and to also inform students. Tomorrow we'll have round 2 in the A Quad at the same time from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join a Club Day will be next Wednesday in the EE Quad at PCC. ASB is continuously working to get students to vote and will be having tabling sessions in March. The cabinet also sent out the finalized solution or resolution packet that will be voted on at the Student Senate General Assembly in April. ASB is also looking forward to bringing in several new representatives in the coming weeks. Finally, our film screening of If Beale Street Could Talk will be next Tuesday at 12 p.m. in the Nordic Lounge. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a really good movie. Item 4.2, our student trustee report. Welcome, Emma. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Today, rather than sharing an itemized list, I really want to appreciate that the leadership role that I've been given is a gift, and I want to use my voice, my platform, and my agency to advocate for my community, both on campus and off campus. Very recently in Oklahoma, a trans Native youth was had sadly passed away and was killed on campus. And for me, not just as a Native student, but as a Native person, being reminded that we are in an epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous persons that also encompasses sexual and physical violence that impacts our students. In the US, Alaskan Native and American Native peoples face disproportionate rates of sexual and physical violence compared to all other races. And this is often overlooked, especially on campuses. We have federal laws in place like Title IX and Title V that are meant to advocate for our students and meant to bring them reconciliation and justice. But often for Native students and Native peoples in legislation, we're forgotten about. And there are gaps that aren't being filled. And so with the loss of Awak Next Benedict, and for my tribe, when we speak about somebody who's passed and we say their full name, we say Awak in front of it, which means that I am actively grieving their loss and constantly feeling that pain of knowing that our culture bearers, our knowledge bearers, our young ones, our youths are having their right to live be taken away and are constantly living with that risk. And so I see this loss of life and what's been happening since before, even before MMIP has even been named as an epidemic, as as a reminder and an urgency for our district to really implement those cultural safety initiatives that reinforce the value of Native students, of Native lives, of Native student success, that acknowledges the difference in our experiences, and that reinforces to Native students that you deserve to have a learning community on campus. You deserve to have academic counselors that understand how it feels to walk on campus and have a need to retain your identity as a Native and Indigenous person. And ensuring that our educators, our professors on campus are not using language that demeans and degrades our heritage and our identity, that doesn't take away our value. It pains me as, not just being a part of our Native student collaborative on campus, but knowing that my community members on a weekly basis are on the edge of dropping out of LBCC and feeling like they're not getting in that community, feeling like their needs aren't being heard, and experiencing that as myself as a Title IX and Title V Native student on campus. And so I really want to start more conversations and want to be have more reciprocity in this need to acknowledge MMIP both on campus and in the classroom. Just in my first couple of weeks so far in school, I've had my identity, my indigeneity be referred to as primitive, as savage, knowing that I've been told that I simply just don't exist and not being believed. And so I wanted to use my voice to be able to share that, because I don't want my role to be tethered to ego and feel that I have to give a list in my reports, but rather I want to acknowledge what my community is going through, what the students are going through on campus, and affirm their right to having their own form of academic excellence and student success on our campus.
Thank you, Emma. You okay? All right, we're going to go on to item 4.3. This is our Academic Senate President Report, Dr. Jerome Hunt.
Good evening, Board President Malulu, Superintendent President Munoz, distinguished board members and colleagues. Welcome back. I would like to start off my report by thanking all the faculty, staff, and administrators for all their hard work as we work to ensure that all our students start the semester off on the right foot. I can definitely feel the excitement around campus, and I'm looking forward to a great spring semester. I just have a few updates to share with everyone tonight. In terms of faculty professional development, our FPD committee is working hard to plan our annual Spring Flex Day, which will take place on Thursday, March 17th. This year, we will be doing a hybrid Flex Day, with the morning sessions taking place online and the afternoon sessions taking place in person and virtually. In terms of our equitable teaching community, the ETC had its first January intensive from January 17th to the 19th. The participants engaged in intensive study and discussions of how to best support students from diverse ethnic, racial, gender, ability, and cultural groups, and practice asset-based cultural wealth models, accessibility, and universal design for learning concepts, and gender diversity awareness, among other things. The cohort is currently working in small groups to sustain equitable innovations in their courses over the spring semester. In terms of online education, in preparation for our shift to have more 8-week classes in the fall, the Online Education Committee has started the development of some questions, recommendations, and best practices for teaching in that term length. The committee is using the California Virtual Campus Online Education Initiative standards as a foundation for the recommendations to faculty. These standards include content presentation, interaction, assessment, and accessibility. The committee aims to provide detailed recommendations in the next coming weeks. In terms of student equity, the Student Equity Subcommittee is currently accepting applications for the 2024-2025 Student Equity Mini Grant until February 29th. Departments and areas of the college, as well as individual faculty, staff, and student clubs can apply for these grants ranging from $100 to $5,000. The committee is particularly interested in proposals that seek to address student engagement, connection, belonging, and mattering with a focus on Black, African American, and first-generation students. And lastly, our Center for Teaching and Learning is proud to announce that they will have an open house on Tuesday, March 5th from 12 to 4 in our new temporary location and the WRSC, which is located in the M Building in room 121. And that concludes my report. So I just want to say that I wish everyone has a great and wonderful spring semester. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hunt. Item 4.4, Classified Senate President Report, Benjamin Chase.
Good evening, Viking family. Dario's going to have it up in a second. Here you go. Great photo. Thank you, Dr. Munoz, for the event. We got a chance to take some photos out there for it. You can see on the slide, you see Sharon, my secretary, Jonathan, and Matthew. Want to say thank you to Dr. Freeman and Brother Kashan for the libations they performed at the Black History Kickoff event. As you can see, Jerome's footage there of how busy the event was and the awesome drummer performance. Happy belated Valentine's Day to everybody for it. We saw some of you on the day, so thank you for being there. Another picture. And as you see in front of you, you see your dogs. And so in honor of National Love Your Pet Day, which was yesterday, I have a couple of things on here that I just wanted to show the quote, thanking Abraham Lincoln again. A cat doesn't care if you are smart or dumb. Give him your heart and he'll give you his for it. And as you can see, I'm wearing my DJ Catbert shirt, so balancing out some of the dogs on the stage today. And this is why.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
It's all of 10 seconds for it. Thank you to the Baha Men from Bahama for their Grammy Award-winning hit from the 2000s. If you've been to a sporting event, you've heard that before. But the whole point of this is we wanted to share some of my colleagues that are classified members and their pets. And so this is Kimchi with Catherine from Outreach. You may have seen Kimchi on campus. She goes to outreach events with Catherine sometimes for it. Next up, if you've ever been through the admissions area, you've seen Dan before. Their dog Zoe, and that's the Gilpatrick family out camping with Zoe for it. They happen to meet at Long Beach City College, just in a side note for that. Judy, another one of my colleagues in the transfer center with her dog Jolly. Key thing Judy said is he's always on the move, so it was almost impossible to get a picture of him. She kind of had to sit next to him so that she could actually get the photo she wanted to share for it. Up next is Brenda, who is also a member of the Senate Council representing PCC. She works out of the counseling office down there, and that's her dogs Bruno and Luna. For it. Up next is one of my newest permanent colleagues, Irma, in financial aid with her dog Coco. For it, I'm very pleased and happy. She's also a cubicle mate of mine right next to me, and very pleased to have her join our team officially this year. Up next is Monica from Student Affairs. You can't miss out with Domino's the dog, and Ava is her daughter. You can see them have a little fun there for it. So I was very happy that Monica was willing to share, and Ava provided great photos for us. Up next is Donna. And this is her rescue dog from June of 2019. He's half Shepherd, half Rottweiler. His name is Walter for it. So it looks very docile there. I'm just not sure with the mix, if they would be. This is an ode in memoriam to Evan. My colleague Eva is also a member of the Classified Senate, and it's with her daughter Eden, who's actually on campus today for it, so it was good to see them. Up next is Annetta's dog Autumn. Perfect dog at the beach, Long Beach, how much can you beat that for it? I said in the photo, I wish it wouldn't cut it off, but it was Autumn's name spelled out with a heart, so you could actually see it in the thing. Vicky from the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences with Dobby for it. I always say that wrong. I always want to say Dobby, but it's Dobby for it. And as you can see, there's an awful lot of dogs for it, hence who let the dogs out for us. My colleague Jennifer in admissions with Zuko and Sandy for it. Hope she feels better. Jennifer's been under the weather lately. Up next, this takes the cake. This was perfect in show. This was Chiquita at Obedience graduation. As you can see, she's got her LBCC colors on for it and ready to take the photo. So thank you, Lulu, for sharing. This one takes the cake for the name of all pets I've ever known, Independence Cherry Blossom Bloom. I've never seen a name that long. I thought, oh, there must be a mistake. He's like, no, that's the cat's name for it. Michelle in Multimedia with Banjo Melon in memoriam for Egypt, and there's an extra photo of Banjo in there as well for it. If anyone knows cats, they're kind of finicky and like to do their own thing. So the fact that you get a photo with them straight on, like my absolute newest colleague, Alexis, with her cat son Milo and her grandcat Jade, she has treats. That's why they're so intently looking for it. They're waiting to get their treat. From her Classified Senate Secretary, Sharon from World Language, and this is her cat, Sophie. And this was my slide to finish it off. It's behind a door because I couldn't get outside to get them all laying on the mat together for it. Fluffy, the cat on the right screen, adopted our family 18 years ago. She recently passed, unfortunately, but was very happy to have had her. And those are some of her friends that used to come hang out for it because we became the wayward station for animals for it. I said, so happy to have seen them. I just want to thank everybody for taking part and sharing in some of our campus love and look forward to continued events. And thank you to Dr. Freeman and Krishan again, and Dr. Kirkwood and Dr. Hunt for including us in Black History Month events. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Ben. That was awesome. And thank you to our guests that you featured on the screen there, our furry friends. Item 4.5, LBCCFA Bargaining President Report, Suzanne Engelhardt.
Thank you. Walk. Hello, Superintendent President Munoz, Board President Malauulu, and other distinguished members of the dais. Congratulations, Vivian and Jenny, on your election to your new roles. Congratulations to Bill Vega and Karen Thurston on their tenure. Welcome to the ranks of full-time tenured faculty. Thank you, trustees, on your unanimous support for our current contract. It was well-deserved. We will enjoy the moment, and then we will begin to prepare for next year. Thank you to our HR and payroll colleagues that are doing the heavy lift of inputting all our wins in a way of financial wins. We had to hold out to win. We all should. I want to thank and praise the work of our negotiations team, organizer, and faculty for their collective effort and work. Without such work and involvement, we would not have ratified such a good contract. Thank you, negotiations team, Veronica Alvarez, Veronica Njoku-Carter, Jason Ong, Jeff Sable, Carol Vasquez, and Sean Dinsis. Y'all rock the negotiations efforts from the field to the bargaining table. With such great collaboration, you are able to engage with faculty on levels never accomplished before. The level you are able to drill down in issues to fully engage faculty with multiple listening sessions. Our members felt heard and valued. Kudos to the way you were able to fully engage in issues as well as financial concerns with a multitude of listening sessions. This depth and breadth of engagement also highlights how we as faculty engage in the classroom, library, counseling, and our success centers. Way to go in rocking a successor contract. Thank you to our organizer, Vanessa Crispin Peralta. I anxiously await to see the work you will be leading this coming year. And to our e-board, rep council, and members of all faculty that supported this bargaining effort in person, via Zoom, with their letters and sign making and contract to support. Your FA leadership thanks you. Keep up the great work you do for our students, community, dual enrollment, and adult education. I look forward to Vivian maybe reaching out, getting together, and some goals for this coming year, possibly something to collaborate across the table with faculty. Have a great semester. Thank you very much.
Item 4.6, AFT Bargaining President Report, Robert Remetta.
Good evening, President Malauulu, Superintendent Munoz, esteemed board members, and the members of the community and everyone on the dais. It's always great to see you again. As you know, we took off running this semester. Certain departments have really done a great job. Financial aid is really doing a great job this semester in helping us. The admissions and records have been helping our students constantly get into classes they have, so we're doing an amazing job. Not that other areas like Rob and Tim's area, without their IT guys, we wouldn't be having these amazing meetings, and our students wouldn't having these awesome classes like gaming, I don't know. We're just cutting edge here, and that's just because of the way this board has been running the school, and I want to thank you for that. The classified are 100% behind you moving forward and helping our students, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work, and I hope everything will work out for you, maybe to stop by on March 14th, which is Flex Day, And the AFT union will be there and hopefully be able to meet some of you. And if you have the time, we'd appreciate seeing you there. It's just across the hall, and we'll have coffee, and we'll hope to see you. Thank you so much.
Item 4.7, the CHI Bargaining President Report, Crystal Huckabee. Is Crystal here, Madam Secretary? Any report submitted online? Okay, we're moving on to Section 5 on the agenda, Superintendent President, item 5.1. Your report, Dr. Munoz.
Great, thank you. All right, good evening, Board of Trustees. It is my pleasure to give you my report for the month of February. So happy Black History Month. We had our kickoff on February 8th in the Nordic Lounge. And I have to be honest, it was so amazing and invigorating to see that many students, faculty, and staff. I've never seen the Nordic Lounge that full before. It was really incredible to see all of LBCC's family together to celebrate Black History Month with so much positivity, love, and light. For those of you who missed it, here is a quick video.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our Black History event today.
Good afternoon, everyone. So good to be here.
Welcome to the 2024 Black History Month kickoff celebration. We are so excited to support the Black students' experience here on campus.
We are so excited and proud at Long Beach City College to celebrate our Black students, history, rich culture, and all the contributions that Black Americans have made to this great nation.
All of this, I think, really is to communicate a love, respect, and I think I'm going to use your words, Dr. Douglas, you talked about celebrating Black joy. And so let's make some noise one more time.
It was absolutely a beautiful event, and I really want to thank our tri-chairs, Dr. Jerome Hunt, Dr. Rainier Freeman, oh, maybe she already stepped out, and Dr. Elijah Sims. Can we give them a round of applause? I think it's really important for leading the efforts on the kickoff and all of the events that will take place this month. And I would also like to thank everyone who served on the Black History Month Committee for their hard work and dedication. We recognize that these events don't happen without great people like all of you leading those efforts. So again, thank you. We are in the third week of the spring semester. Can you believe that? And our first day of spring semester was certainly eventful. We shifted our instruction due to the severe weather we were experiencing to online. And so I have to really take a moment and thank the leadership of Dr. Chip West. Let's give Dr. Chip West a round of applause. And our amazing facility team, Maria, Brian, and everyone in facilities for doing such a great job for inspecting our buildings and taking measures to protect our infrastructure. I'd also like to recognize all of our faculty, our classified and managers for being really so flexible and quickly switching to instruction and services from in-person to online. I know folks were, I was getting text messages throughout the weekend. Folks were feeling really nervous and saying, you know, what are we gonna do? And we were trying to analyze all the different data points, but in the end, we felt that it was better to err on the side of caution and make sure that we try to keep people safe. And so again, thank you for the flexibility of everyone that, you know, made this effort successful. Conferences and legislative visits. So last month, Board President Malauulu, Trustee Intuck, and Executive Director of Public Affairs and Marketing, Carl Kemp, and I traveled to Sacramento for the Community College League of California's annual legislative conference. During this trip, community colleges and leaders, we met together to discuss important policy issues. We did quite a bit of networking and meeting with our local representatives. We met with Assemblymember Josh Lowenthal and key education committee members like Assemblymember Mike Fong and Assemblyman Al Marisucci. On February 6th, I was in Washington, D.C. for the ACCD conference, along with Board President Malauulu, Vice President Dr. Baxter, and Student Trustee Manetta and Carl Kemp. During this trip, we were able to meet with Senator LaFonza Butler, who is dynamic and inspirational. I think that was really, for me, the highlight of the trip, as well as Senator Alex Padilla and our very own Congressman Robert Garcia, along with a variety of meetings with key departments like the Department of Education and the Department of Labor. I do want to take a moment, and I'm going to take a moment of personal privilege and acknowledge Student Trustee Manetta. When we were in the meeting with the Department of Education, you know, Prior to being president, I was vice president of student services, and prior to that, I was a dean of students. And so I've gone with student leaders pretty much for 15 years up to Sacramento and to DC. And I will tell you, you really stood out. You talked about issues around Title IX and how it's impacting students with some of the reforms that have taken place as a result of the previous President Trump's initiatives. And it was so thoughtful and so grounded in your voice. And I just want to say thank you for your agency and everything that you bring to your role as student trustee. We also carved out some time to participate I carved out some time to participate in a roundtable discussion alongside other interviewees from an upcoming documentary, Raising Up, which examines the students' parents' experience. I was honored to deliver the welcoming remarks today at the Dual Enrollment Equity Conference here in Long Beach. So this is just down the street at the West, and this is crazy that they have photos up already because it was literally 8 a.m. this morning. There was over 600 K-12 and community college faculty, counselors, and administrators at the Westin today. And I was able to join California Community College Executive Vice Chancellor, Dr. Aisha Lowe, and Ben Chita of the governor's office for a panel discussion about the state of dual enrollment in California. And I just want to give you some sense of what's happening here at Long Beach and how dynamic it is. You know, just this year alone, we've seen an 81% increase over the previous year in enrollments for dual enrollment. And it's a 325% increase since fall of 2019. So big shout out to Deans Dr. Sonia de la Torre and Lulu and Lupe and the entire dual enrollment team, all those coaches and counselors and faculty and all the faculty who step up to teach in the dual enrollment classes. It's really a transformational, equity-driven strategy that is gonna really create significant impact for our students. You know, we know that time is the enemy when we look at our data. And so if our students are able to start Long Beach City College with 6, 9, 12 units under their belt, it's definitely going to support their effort in helping them be successful and complete in a timely manner. So again, thank you for all those efforts. On Valentine's Day, I showed our employees how much I appreciated them during the President's Office open house. We enjoyed music, sweet treats, and handed out giveaways. Most importantly, this was a chance for all of us to check in with each other and be in friendship on this day of celebrating love. I want to thank everyone who made it possible and who was able to attend the open house. I want to give a big shout out to the executive assistants in the President's Office, Lauren and everyone on the team, Kim. So many people stepped forward to make the event special. Last week, Jim Clark, the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of America, so that's not just Long Beach, but it's all of the United States, right? Visited our Viking Clubhouse at the Liberal Arts Campus. Our Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. Tracy Carmichael, represented LBCC and shared information with him and others about our trailblazing partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of Long Beach, where we provide free after-school programming for our students and their children daily. Lastly, I would just like to remind everyone that we will be presenting the annual State of the College next week. So please join us on Thursday, February 29th at 4 p.m. in the Bob and Barbara Ellis Auditorium at the Liberal Arts Campus. Afterwards, we'll be having a reception with DJ Mr. Quick and delicious food catered by our local favorite, Lola's. This is a free event, but space is limited, so please RSVP. And you know, over the last couple of years, we've transformed the State of the College. It used to be kind of by invitation only, and it was a lunch on campus. This is open to everyone in the community on campus, students, faculty, staff, administrators. It's not just for an invited group of folks, it's for the entire campus community. So please come out and enjoy the connections with everyone. With that said, this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to move on to presentations. This is section 6 on the agenda, 6.1. This is the 2022-23 Personnel Commission Annual Report. I'm going to toss this over to Carolyn, is it Chrétien? Chrétien, Executive Director, Classified Human Resources, who will present our Personnel Commission Annual Report. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, honorable trustees, Dr. Munoz, vice presidents, and members of the public. I'm Carolyn Chrétien, the Executive Director for Classified Human Resources. So on behalf of the Personnel Commission, I would like to present to you the 22-23 Personnel Commission Annual Report. I would like to thank the board for their time tonight for this presentation and acknowledge the Personnel Commission staff for their work on this report, as well as the Communications Department for this vibrant cover. The annual report format was updated to include a nice cover, a message from the PC chair and myself, as well as more infographics, so it's more visual. As required by the Education Code, the Personnel Director is responsible to the Commission for carrying out all procedures in the administration of the classified personnel. Also, as the Secretary of the Commission, the Personnel Director shall prepare an annual report, which shall be sent by the Commission to the Governing Board. In the message from last year's PC Chair and myself, I would like to highlight the following. Last year's accomplishments included continuing the classification and compensation study for classified AFT employees, improving the working out of class process, hiring or promoting 124 candidates through continuous recruitment efforts, and hosting the Classified Appreciation Luncheon in spring 2023. Also, all of this work and milestones were completed thanks to the incredible support and contributions of various stakeholders, such as the Board of Trustees, Dr. Munoz, District Representatives, VP Nashua, the Classified AFT Union, the Classified Senate, volunteers, and last but not least, the PC and HR team members. So we have the LBCC missions and the values. In our report, we also have information on our personnel commissioners. Last year's chair was the district representative, Ms. Robin Gordon Peterson. This year, the PC chair is the joint appointee, Commissioner McManigal Ball, and the vice president is Commissioner Kellogg. So on this page, we highlight the merit system at LBCC. LBCC has been a merit district for over 46 years now. And working through the executive director, the Personnel Commission has a threefold responsibility: to cooperate with the governing board and administrators in the quest for competent employees and best practices in personnel administration, to represent the interests of the general public by providing a personnel system dedicated to hiring and retaining highly qualified competent workers, and to see that classified employees receive fair and equitable treatment. On this page, we are showing that it is a dual reporting structure. So my position is a dual-hatted position. It supports both the Personnel Commission and the district in covering the full spectrum of the classified human resources functions, such as the core merit system, so recruitment, selections, eligibility list certification, class and comp, hearings, rules, PC budget, etc. And when it comes to the district side, the personnel management, performance evaluations, professional development, discipline, employee relations, contract administration, etc. On page 5, we have our annual budget for 2022-23, which the board approved on May 24, 2023. Here, the budget includes the staff salary and benefits who support the classified human resources function. And as shared this evening, for the PC team, specifically the recruitment, selection, performance evaluations, PD, leaves, and personnel administration. On the operational budget, we have what's necessary to carry out these functions, such as licensing for applicants and board docs, professional services, duplicating, and memberships. On behalf of the Personnel Commission, I would like to reaffirm the Commission's continued commitment and efforts in cost savings. The Commission is cognizant of the budget challenges and will continue to be fiscally responsible. On page 6, we highlighted the efforts to complete the AFT classification and compensation study. While the approval took place early this fiscal year, so 23-24, the efforts to complete the study took place during academic year 2022-23 under the leadership of Philip Gordillo. On this page, you will see the annual report of classified recruitment activities. We had almost 4,100 applicants, shy by one, 94 recruitments, which resulted in the hiring or promotion of 124 individuals. On this page, we are presenting to you the applicant diversity and the breakdown, and we included the infographics so it's more visual. On the next page, we have also the classified employee diversity. I want to clarify that this includes both AFT and classified management. On this page, we highlighted the professional development activities, such as the new employee orientation, the classified appreciation luncheon, and the classified professional development day. On the last two pages, we highlighted some of our amazing classified employees, such as the 2023 LBCC Classified Employee of the Year, Starla Thomas, and all the classified employees who have been at LBCC between 5 and 35 years. And on behalf of the Personnel Commission, thank you again very much for your time and the opportunity to present the PC report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to go on to item 6.2. This is the Faculty and Staff Diversity Report. It's an annual update. I will hand this over to Vice President Loy Nashua, who will introduce Kristen Olson. There you go.
Thank you so much, VP Malauulu. It's my pleasure to introduce my esteemed colleague, AVP Olson, for the presentation.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, vice president, and audience members. My name is Kristen Olson, and I serve as the Associate Vice President, Human Resources. If it pleases the board, I'd like to call your attention to the annual Faculty and Diversity Report for the 22-23 fiscal year. With that, I'd like to turn your attention to the first slide in the presentation. So this slide and the next few slides set the framework for approaching and organizing DEIA EEO efforts. And within this context, I will also highlight some projects, initiatives, and strategies the college is currently embarking upon and or has implemented. As you can see from this slide, the DEIA EEO work is organized into three main spheres of effort: pre-hiring strategies, hiring strategies, and post-hiring strategies. And to go into a little more detail, pre-hiring strategies pertain to activities that occur prior to hiring actions. An example of this would be recruitment and outreach efforts. Again, for example, applying the technique of focused recruitment, which is something that we do. Hiring strategies, unsurprisingly, this pertains to hiring activities. For example, training efforts to eliminate biases and hiring decisions such as confirmation bias, and post-hiring decisions, which includes efforts after hiring is completed, such as retention efforts or culture impact efforts, such as training. And in setting that framework, I'll now go into more detail about some of our efforts. So with regard to some of the strategies on this page, in particular job announcements, we continue to review, analyze, and update our job announcements, which is very critical to do since this is one of the first touches out to the applicants, as this is an opportunity to immediately express our values as a college as one of inclusivity, opportunity, and representation. Some of the things that we've done, we've enhanced our introductory statement to include our student population information. Because this information is part of our introductory statements, applicants immediately understand the students that we serve. We also include a DEIA statement, accommodation statement, EEO statement, ancestral land statement, and include links to our EEO plan and values as a college. By ensuring this is part of our job announcement, applicants immediately understand this is part of our value system here at the college as well. Cluster hiring. Faculty cohorts that are hired into a college together and receive the same first-year experience have been shown to be more successful on the job, and retention rates are higher. This is something that we've actually been doing for years, but we haven't been marketing our college as a college that participates in cluster hiring. So this year we took that effort to make sure that that marketing was part of our recruitment effort, so that faculty members would understand that once they came to this college, they would have an inclusive first-year experience. And then finally, job fair and marketability event. Both are tools to increase outreach and representation within applicant pools. The marketability event especially is a pipeline so that our adjunct professors are provided with an opportunity to enhance their candidacy for full-time faculty positions. So hiring strategies, I want to highlight two main items on this slide. With regard to hiring strategies, we continue to standardize, improve, and streamline our recruitment practices. We have a dedicated training for all committee chairs and EO representatives. We also developed a committee member training for academic and full-time faculty recruitments. An HR representative delivers this training to all committee members during the first committee meeting to ensure all panel members and applicants have a standardized, fair, equitable, welcome, and inclusive experience. We have also developed committee member training for adjunct recruitment, and we have taken this step to include EEO training within the adjunct process as well, and ensure that an EEO rep is on all hiring committees for adjuncts. So some post-hiring strategies, I want to highlight two items on this slide. We have worked incredibly hard to build out some of our post-hiring strategies. We went after and were awarded an EEO Best Practices grant to develop out a welcoming first-year experience for new hires. We have developed a welcome guide for new hires, a supervisor welcome guide, a training for supervisors to successfully onboard new hires, employee handbooks for all of our different employee groups, and an orientation. As part of this program, we're also building out a first-year mentorship experience for new hires to the college. The mentor will participate in an academy and receive certification as a mentor, and then be paired with a new hire to help guide them through their first-year experience. This year, we also launched the Classified Employee Promotional Success Academy. The Academy is a year-and-a-half program consisting of training and development directly relevant to enhancing an employee portfolio for promotional opportunities. The training topics are divided into Level 1 and Level 2, and topics include resume foundation, cover letter foundation, submitting a successful application, planning for a successful performance exam, planning for a successful interview, setting and achieving work goals, promotional pathway creation, social media acumen and professional presence, networking, relationship building, and mentor development. It's very comprehensive. Additionally, the final portion of the academy is mentorship development through the pairing of a mentor who will assist the employee in networking and portfolio development on a one-on-one basis. And we currently have about 40 enrollees in the program. So this next slide talks about some of the data collection and analysis strategies that we use to help with our ongoing efforts, analyze what we're doing, determine how we can prioritize and improve further. And with that, I want to get into some of the data. On this slide, the next few slides pertain to management hiring trends. And on this slide, you will note from 18-19 to 22-23, a continued upward trend in employment diversity. Here you'll see a 14% increase, which is a lot for a 5-year period. Also, our current employment diversity for management is at 65%. On this next slide, you'll be able to see a graphical representation of these updates. And if you look at the dotted line specifically, you'll be able to note a positive upward trend over time. And then finally, in looking at this, this last slide depicting management data demonstrates an 87% hiring rate for diversity this last year. So these next few slides pertain to classified hiring data. And on this slide, you'll likewise note from 18-19 to 22-23, a continued upward trend in employment diversity. Here you can see a 7% increase, which is quite good. Also, our current employment diversity for classified is at 72%. This next slide depicts the graphical representation of what you just saw. And again, you'll see a positive upward trend over time. And then finally, this slide demonstrates an 78% hiring rate for diversity for this last year for classified. The next slide pertains to full-time faculty. And on this slide, you'll note a continued upward trend in employment diversity as well. You'll be able to see a 6% increase, which is good, especially because there's substantially less movement in faculty positions compared to classified and management positions. Also, our current employment diversity for full-time faculty is at 46%. This slide is a visual representation of that trend, which is upward and positive. Finally, this last slide demonstrates a 72% hiring rate for diversity this last year. And the next few slides address part-time faculty data. And on this slide, you'll likewise note from 18-19 to 22-23, a continued upward trend in employment diversity. Here you can see a 9% increase in our current employee diversity for part-time faculty is at 52%. Here you are able to see the visual representation of that upward trend. And then finally, the data demonstrates a 63% hiring rate for diversity for part-time faculty this year. And with that, my presentation is concluded.
Thank you. Vice President Nishua, did you want to add anything to that?
I don't, but our team has put in a whole lot of effort, and so you can see it demonstrated in the data. So thank you for the opportunity to share the information.
Thank you. And thank you, Kristen. Always appreciate you being here. Absolutely. Moving on the agenda, we're going on to section 7. This is the Board of Trustees report. We are going to start with Trustee Untuck, and then we will go to Trustee Zia, and then Trustee Baxter, and then myself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. This has been a busy past 30 days. Dr. Munoz mentioned we were in Sacramento for the annual legislative conference with the League of Community Colleges. It was an opportunity to meet with Dr. Christensen, our chancellor, some member Fong, Lowenthal, and Mayor Suchi in person, and then the staff members from Senator Bradford and Gonzalez's office. A really great set of workshops held at the conference. Was able to attend one that was on student housing, and LACCD really shared some of their creative strategies that they're using to help address student homelessness and basic needs of students around housing. They have a unique program and partner they work with called LA Room and Board, who takes, they purchase homes and they basically turn them into like dorm room hotels. So a student can come in and basically immediately go into a bed and a room for a short period of time as they process and find long-term solutions. And so it's able to plug and play students as they need. It's very, very interesting what they're doing at LACCD. And that was a really, really nice panel. This past month, I also participated in the District 9 State of the District with Dr. Joni Ricks-Odie, where we met with community members. We had the North Long Beach Commander, we had the planning director, we talked about the North Long Beach Center. I was able to do a brief presentation. You may see me on Long Beach TV. I have a 3-minute segment there of that 2-hour meeting that they were recording. So it's really nice to connect with folks, and it's still this almost like a reunion post-pandemic where you haven't seen people for 3 or 4 years, or what's their new jobs and roles. So it was a really nice cross-cutting event with people from the city, from the community, from different community stakeholders. I was able to attend the Long Beach City College Black History Month kickoff. Wonderful event, great speakers, dance performances, of course, wonderful food. I also want to thank the Tri-Chairs for organizing. I thought it was very nice to be inside and utilizing space versus we've been outside in the quad the last couple of years. So it was really nice change of venue. Great to see everybody, and had some tabling from community partners like the 100 Black Men of Long Beach. It was really good to bring off-campus folks into our event. I also attended the City of Long Beach Black History Month event yesterday at City Hall, which was really nice. It was about 2 hours in the new lobby. They have this big digital screen there that when you go into the relatively new City Hall, they had a really great mosaic, but number of speakers, the mayor, council members, the Black Employee Association of the city organized and put it on. Sal's Gumbo Shack from North Long Beach was the vendor for the food that was provided. And Long Beach Jordan's choir, award-winning choir, sang Lift Every Voice and Sing to start the event. And they're the same ones who are going to Carnegie Hall in New York. There was a big fundraising push to help They're taking the teachers, about 120 people collectively from North Long Beach to New York as part of a national performance that they were selected to participate in. I said, well, we got to find out a way to bring in a Long Beach City College, and so hopefully there's an opportunity we can find the choir to come here and perform and add to their portfolio of presentations. But really a great set of students doing excellent work in North Long Beach. A couple of things coming up. Housing California is holding their statewide conference here March 6th through the 9th in downtown Long Beach. This is a statewide organization. We were selected for a student housing, community college student housing tour that we'll be giving, and a panel discussion on student housing. So we're starting at the convention center, going down to Costa Mesa to see Orange Coast student housing, go up on a bus to Cerritos and see their student housing, and then we'll end in North Long Beach to see the site of our future student housing and have a panel discussion with the attendees there at the new North Long Beach Center on South and Atlantic. There's about 35 people who've signed up so far. They're providing the bus, we're just providing the people. So it's a great opportunity to talk about what we're doing at Long Beach City College, but also the challenges and solutions different districts are taking to student housing. And it's just closing. We lost a Viking this month, Carl Weathers, was a Long Beach City College alumni, Emmy-nominated actor, former NFL linebacker, Long Beach Poly graduate. I appreciated his work from Rocky to The Mandalorian, and if we can adjourn tonight in his honor and remember him of Carl Weathers, who recently passed away. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Trustee Zia?
Thank you, President Malauulu. Couple of touch points and honoring in memory of two people. First off, before I embark on my board member comments, I just want to recognize student trustee Emma Mineta for that heartfelt report. It was inspiring, touching, and that's what we look for in our leadership, especially our student trustees. One of the partnerships that we've had in the community college district, the Long Beach Community College District, has been a partnership with Alcom and in the space industry. And I wanted to announce that Alcom was bought out and they've gone public, so they've 100x'd their need. And the partnership entailed grooming our students and hiring them. I had the great fortune of helping lead that effort with our great staff working on it. Right now, they're looking for 100 students to hire. And it looks like that's a good problem to have, but I wanted to put it out there. Training, everything will be conducted by them if need be. We have a curriculum designed. However, their need is so imminent that they're looking to hire right away. So Scott Frazier, you're going to be my next call. You're going to hear from executives from Alcom, now Winchester. A couple of other updates. I just wanted to recognize that Dr. Felton Williams was here tonight. He's one of the most prominent Black leaders in our community. And in honor of Black History Month, I just wanted to also recognize him. Unfortunately, he had to leave at 6. On January 28th, sadly, we lost one of our great pillars in our community of labor, Mr. Brother Ray Cordova, and he was a great, great leader, a great inspiration for me. He was someone who always supported all of us. I've had the great fortune of learning from him and being inspired by him daily. I remember he was in Comfort Care, and he would still call me and ask about our nursing students and helping get some of our nursing students who have been on the wait list to get access to Long Beach City College, still while he was in Comfort Care, and I really appreciated that. So, President Malauulu, if it's okay, I'd like to also adjourn the meeting in honor of Brother Ray Cordova. Also, on January 11th, we lost a great leader in the women's leadership in the city and the greater Long Beach. Miss Mary Lamo was a great, great leader and someone who really had dedicated service. She was a leader in the American Association of University Women with Dr. Baxter and I, and sadly we lost her, and I'd like to honor her as well and adjourn in her memory. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Baxter?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Because I have, you got to start the clock again, because I don't want to be cut off in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you, Dario. Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody on January 24th, which was our last board meeting, we had the Labor Center event, which was just fabulous to have, it had to be 50, 60 people here from the different labor organizations giving panel presentations, and they were honored at our board meeting. That was fantastic. Then on January 25th, I'm the president of the Todd Cancer Institute at Memorial Hospital, and we had a board meeting. On the 29th, the Helping Homeless Students had a strategic planning meeting, and we are looking at the future, which I think is always important. We are working really hard and everything's going great, but if you don't plan for the future, you never get there. And so that's what we've been working on. On the 30th, I went to the State of Public Safety luncheon downtown. On the 31st, Dr. Munoz and I had lunch with a new bank in town, PCN. They want to have a relationship with us. I have found out, and Dr. Munoz, I should have brought it up to you, but I don't know if you know, they have also met with Dr. Paul Comiskey, and they want to help the homeless students. Of course, how could I say, no, that's a bad idea? So I thought it was great. But Paul got in there. I was making a pledge for our homeless group, but that's okay, because the bottom line is that our students are succeeding, and that's what we're all here for. On February 2nd, I interviewed with the PCC name consultant, trying to figure out what we're going to rename the Pacific Coast campus. Then on February 4th, I left for Washington, D.C. I love to go there. I love meeting with the politicians Dr. Munoz brought up, but I didn't know a thing about LaFonza Bettler. I have to tell you, I've seen her picture, that's it. Is she a dynamo? And I wish they hadn't asked her not to run for the seat, because I think she would have been terrific. She's very outspoken, very knowledgeable, very friendly, very warm, and I think she would have made, she is making a great senator now, but she won't on January 1st, I guess. But anyway, she was outstanding. We also went to the Department of Labor and Department of Education. We met with the California delegation, and Jimmy, it's not Jimmy, who's Panetta's first name? Okay, well, Mr. Panetta, who's a congressman, who is Leanne Panetta's son, and I'm sorry, shame on me for not remembering. But anyway, what I thought was great about his presentation, he's a community college graduate. He said he went to community college to have a good time and play football. I mean, it was amazing that somebody would be so honest about, their college career. However, he obviously was very, very bright, because he went on to UC and then Stanford Law School. And he's been in the Congress for a number of years, and I know represents us very, very well. We also met with Senator Alex Padilla, and then had dinner with Congressman Robert Garcia, and he's doing such a wonderful job representing us, but also representing the country, because he has ideas that go outside of Long Beach, outside of California, and he's a real dynamo, and we're lucky to have him. Then I flew to Florida because my sister and I were honored at an event at a university, Ave Maria University, and also we gave a little bit of money. We were the only two honored, but then this guy who gave him $7 million was honored at the same time. And his wife, his name's Tom Golisano, but anyway, his wife is Monica Seles, who is a former tennis great, and what a down-to-earth person. She sat next to me. You would have never known she's a celebrity and very well respected, and 41 seconds, I better hurry up. Okay, then I got the Lakewood Village Neighborhood Association meeting. Foundation Executive Board. I already talked about that. AAUW Board meeting. Now I'm on jury duty and I'm on a trial. A murder, I'm not supposed to say, I'm on a trial. And so you might not see me around anyway, because it's going to take at least a week. And then tonight I went to the nursing alumni meeting at the W room, and they had over 50 nursing alumni there, so I'll be quiet with that. And I'm so glad they've gotten them together, and the foundation's doing great work too. And everybody else is wonderful. Sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Baxter. Okay, so for my report, Dario, I've sent you 3 photos, and the message I have says not delivered. Did you get any of them? Oh, darn. So I don't know what's going to happen because there are 3 good ones. Okay, so on January 25th, I attended the Long Beach Educational Partnership meeting at the invitation of, I believe it was Governor Gavin Newsom's office and the chamber, quite possibly the chamber and the city. It was a collaboration, so I'm very grateful for that opportunity to sit at that table and be able to represent Long Beach City College at that. And then that following weekend, we were at the CCLC conference, the annual legislative conference in Sacramento. On Tuesday the 30th, I also attended the Long Beach Chamber Public Safety Luncheon, and it's always great when Long Beach City College has such a prominent place in the community where we are introduced 3 or 4 times, and always the applause that we get when they mention LBCC. Everybody in the room, it's just very heartwarming. On Wednesday, the 31st, you know, I sit on 2 national boards with ACCT and NALEO, and I sit on various committees, and a lot of it is grunge work, right? A lot of it is time-consuming, reading, organizing people's doodle calendars, making sure that we can meet at a certain time. Often it's after hours in the evening because everyone works, or it's on the weekend. But let me share with you the value of that. One of the committees that I'm on for NALEO is a programming committee, and we have our annual conference. This year is going to be in Las Vegas in the summer, and I've been pushing for seminars and workshops for higher education. For the 2 years that I've been on that board, I got on the program committee, and I've been able to lobby my colleagues on that. So now we do have several higher education seminars that'll be happening at the National Committee. One of them is housing, one of them deals with student mental health, and one of them deals with allocating budget resources. So this is why it's important to have a seat at the table. You know the saying, if you're not at the table, you're usually on the menu. And when I look back at all the meetings that I've been on, and I watch some of the suggestions and proposals that people make, some of those things fall flat. But building relationships, knowing how to work with people, knowing how to follow up the phone call, expressing the need for these types of workshops are so important. So I'm very happy to report that higher ed is going to have a prominent place in the national conference that NALEO is hosting this year, and it's the first time they've ever done that. So yay, Long Beach City College. On Thursday the 1st, we had a public safety ad hoc committee to discuss our contract with Long Beach PD. And then that weekend, I was in Washington, D.C., again with our colleagues. It was a great experience. One of the photos that I wanted to show is our student trustee, Emma, who stepped away from the dais. But I did want to share a photo with her. She had expressed an interest in visiting Georgetown University. It's who you know. I made a phone call. Next thing you know, she spent the morning at Georgetown University on a private tour, and she was able to connect with students who are on campus and get the whole experience. So I'm really happy that we were able to do that for her. She was ecstatic. She couldn't stop talking about it, so I'm happy that we did that. On Wednesday the 14th, I attended the President's Open House, and it was so nice to see, oh, sorry, I skipped something. Thursday the 8th, I was at the Black History Month event, fantastic event, we've already talked about it. The music, we were jamming. The picture they put up earlier is probably not a good picture, but it showed the high energy of the room. Wednesday the 14th, Valentine's Day, the President's Open House, it was jam-packed. It was absolutely crowded. Today, I did attend the Nursing Nexus Alumni Campaign kickoff. One of the photos that I wanted to share with you is while we were in Washington, D.C., I had an opportunity to meet the Chief of Staff of current State Senator LaFonza Butler. His name is Marvin Figueroa, and if you speak Spanish, my mom calls it La Llamada de la Sangre, because when he walked in the room, I felt something. And I'm looking at this gentleman, and I went up to him, and I introduced myself, and I said, Marvin Figueroa, you know, where's that come from? He's African-American, and his name struck me. I thought maybe he was Caribbean, Dominican, and he says to me, I'm from Honduras. And that's the photograph that I wanted to share with you. He's the highest ranking, I guess you would call him a classified person in the state Senate, a Honduran, the highest ranking Honduran for U.S. Senator, not state senator, correction, United States Senator, Chief of Staff, and he's Honduran, and I was so proud to meet him. So that's one of the photos, and then the last photo I wanted to share is of Dr. Munoz, and we're gonna figure out a way to get this on next month, because Dr. Munoz, I was the mama who went to, as he sat in the documentary, being interviewed as a student, you know, as a student parent, when he was a community college student, to share his experience. And I was in the back of the room, and I was watching him be interviewed with cameras rolling, lights, camera, action, and I was so proud. And I've said this before, everywhere I go, Dr. Munoz is like a celebrity. Everywhere I go, every space that I'm in, people know him, and the cameras, and it was just a great shot that I took of him being interviewed, and I was gonna embarrass you and share that picture. Anyway, happy second semester. I hope you're off to a great start. One more thing I'm gonna add, while we were in DC that weekend, I've never seen Dr. Munoz so stressed out. It was the weather. He was on the phone early in the morning, late at night, communicating with campus, communicating with facilities, communicating with Vice President Dr. Chip West, trying to assess the situation. One of the toughest decisions we had to make was to close the campus that first day of spring semester. And Dr. Munoz, to his credit, was so affected by what was happening here at home. I don't think he had a good, productive DC trip, because he was so concerned about the safety of our students and our staff, our campus. So I remember that, and I felt your stress, and I felt how much you cared. I believe that's it. If I think of something else, I'll end with that, but thank you. Time. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking Trustee Chico was going to report. We're going to move on to Section 7 on the agenda. And nope, sorry, Section 8. This is the consent agenda. Item 8.1, any item may be removed from the consent agenda, considered separately if a member of the Board of Trustees so requests. Do I have any requests?
Yes, item 8.10 and item 8.16.
8.10 and 8.16? All right. So I have a motion to remove item 8.10 and item 8.16. Can I get a second? I have a motion and a second. Is there a discussion? Yes. It is for the consent calendar. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
This is just for the removal.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. No, it's for the removal, to remove them.
Okay, second.
So Trustee Antec withdraws the motion. Trustee Zia, would you like to make the motion to remove them?
I already did.
All right, so
And
Trustee
just-
Baxter will make the second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'll discuss on each of the items.
Got it.
Yeah.
8.10, 8.16. All right, all those in favor to remove the items?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. So now I need a motion and a second to pass the remaining consent, the calendar, the consent
moved.
agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Baxter, second by Trustee Antec. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The consent agenda, the consent calendar does pass. And now Trustee Zia, item 8.10.
Yes, I see on page 7 under contracts under 200,000, contract number 99882 2.6. That's a new contract, and for $200,000 to our board council. We previously awarded $602,000 under, I believe it was contract number 99772.6, which was on the purchase order ratification. I don't think it's appropriate to split this contract and wait 6 months until after the previous contract was expired. I think it would be considered splitting contracts, and the total value would be $802,000. Based on that, I will be voting no on this item.
Any additional discussion? Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, I think we need a roll call vote, right, for financial? Correct. So we need a roll call vote.
Is this to remove or to?
This is. So trustee Zia made the motion.
To adopt?
Could you repeat the motion, trustee Zia?
I didn't make a motion, I just made a motion to remove it and to take it out of consent.
Got it. So now we need a motion to adopt item 8.10. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call vote.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe and Tuck. Sunny Zia.
Nay.
Motion carries. Now we'll move on to item 8.16. Trustee Zia?
I see this item is for employee travel, for out-of-country travel between September 25th, 2024 to October 6th, 2024 for it states employees that include a board officer and for a total estimated amount of $30,800. I don't think it's appropriate for us to be categorizing employee out-of-country travel when a board member is listed. It's arguable whether or not a board officer is an employee, and I just don't think it's appropriate for us to be paying for a board member's travel at this extent. I'm okay with the rest of the employees listed, but not the board member. Therefore, I'll be voting no on this item.
Any additional discussion? Okay, so I need a motion to adopt item 8.16.
So moved.
We have a motion by trustee Baxter, a second by trustee Untuck. Madam Secretary, any discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe and Tuck. Sunny Zia.
Nay.
Motion carries. We will move on to section 9 on the agenda, which is human resources, item 9.1.
President Malauulu, I'm sorry, one point of order. Is it appropriate for trustee Intuck to vote for his own approval since it's a financial contribution to him? It requires financial payment for his expenses. Can he approve his own expenses?
I will defer to Board Counsel Ewing on that.
Aging, so I can't see you as well these days. I won't keep you in suspense. I don't. That's a good question. I don't know the answer right now, but I'm happy to get back to you on that. I mean, if the answer's different than what I expect it will be, I think will be probably yes, because board trustees typically vote on items that affect their finances, such as their monthly stipend. I think there's a resolution that's adopted on an annual basis that's along those lines. But I'll take a look at it and get back to you.
Okay. Yeah, if you could, because I think it's Government Code Section 1090, conflict of interest, but you know better with your legal acuity that you have. So is it appropriate for us to take action on this item since Board Counsel is needing to opine at a later timeline, President Malauulu, since he needs to look into it? Should we continue this item?
I think the motion already passed. We've already voted on the motion, and it's already passed.
I would suggest to the board respectfully that if the answer's no, you can't do it, then I'll certainly let the board and you all know, but I'll take a look at it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to section 9 on the agenda, human resources, 9.1, employment and contracts. This is an action item. I will need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees approve the amended employment contracts as submitted. And the following, I've got a motion by Trustee Baxter and a second by Trustee Zia, but I do have to read out the following employment contracts provide employees with a term of employment, an annual salary along with health and welfare benefits and life insurance. Deborah Miller Calvert, Dean, Student Affairs, term December 11, 2023 to December 31, 2025. Salary $192,278. Javier Villaseñor, Dean, Counseling and Student Support Services, term December 11, 2023, December 31, 2025. Salary $192,278. Edward Henderson, Director, EEOPS, term July 1, 2023, June 30th, 2025, salary $175,198. Alicia Kirkwood, Associate Vice President, PCC, term May 30th, 2023, June 30th, 2025, salary $238,530. Kristen Olson, Associate Vice President, Human Resources, term July 1, 2023, June 30, 2025, salary $242,107. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe and Tuck. Sunny Zia.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section 10 on the agenda, Academic Senate, there are no items. Section 11 on the agenda, Academic Affairs, there are no items. Section 12 on the agenda, Administrative and Business Services. We do have item 12.1, which is the 2023-2024 Mid-Year Budget Performance Report. And this is an information item only to keep the board and the college community informed about the status of the budget for the 2023-2024 mid-year budget performance report. It was prepared. The attached report was reviewed by the Budget Advisory Committee on February 13th, 2024, covers the unrestricted general fund and the financial activity occurring from July 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Is there anyone that would like to comment on this, Dr. West? Any commentary necessary? It is information only.
The information included is information that we've included before. The budget projections are best estimates of where we are right now. Our team is really actively working to track those, so there's not a big swing at the end. So we're tracking them by month in a way that we haven't in the past. So I want to give kudos to Sem Chow and John Thompson, who've been working on that and put this report together.
Thank you, Dr. West. And for the benefit of the public, all items are attached on board docs, and they are visible to all, anyone who can access board docs. Item 12.2, 2023-2024, CCFS-311Q, second quarterly financial status. This is an action item. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees approve the 2023-2024 second quarterly financial status report, CCFS-311Q, for the Long Beach Community College District, and authorize transmittal of the report to the California Community College Chancellor's Office as submitted. I have one more thing to read. The 2023-2024 second quarterly financial status report, CCFS-311Q, contains the data and projections that align with the 2023-2024 mid-year budget performance report, with additional data, projections, and narratives presented in the reporting format required by the California Community College Chancellor's Office. I've got a motion by Trustee Untuck, second by Trustee Baxter. Any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, roll call vote, please. Anything financial, we need a roll call vote.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe Ntuk. Sunny Zia.
Aye. Aye, motion carries. Item 12.3 is an action item. It's a resolution for non-resident tuition fees for 2024-2025. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 022124B, authorizing the non-resident tuition fees for 2024-2025, beginning with the fall 2024 semester as submitted. The non-resident and international student tuition fees, non-resident international tuition fees for 2023-2024 are $278 per unit. 2024-2025, $303 per unit. The change is $25 increase per unit. The capital outlay fee is $43 per unit, 2023-2024, $43 per unit, 2024-2025, zero change. The total difference for 2023-2024 is $321 per unit. 2024-2025 is $346 per unit, and the change is $25 per unit. I need a motion and a second. We've got, I believe it was Trustee Baxter who made the motion. Trustee Ntuk made a second. Is there a discussion on the item? I do have a question. Yes, Dr. West?
Sure, I just want to provide a little context for this one because this one's going to come back to us for a couple of years to give you a heads up. So originally, when the state provided the information to us this year, they informed us very early on that we were going to have to increase our fee by about $72. So that was the statewide average. We really didn't have a choice. We had to move to that minimum. Right before this board meeting, about 5 or 6 days ago, right before the agenda came out, we got a new memo from the state that allowed for a more gradual increase. So that's what you're seeing today. And part of that memo from the state was they're open to a gradual increase, but they expect that over time that we get up to, because as you know, this cost represents the actual cost of students attending. So what the team and I met, and we pulled together kind of a 3-year plan. So that's why you're seeing a $25 increase. And our plan would be that next year we would come back with another $25 increase and then a $22 increase, depending on where it is in future years. So I just wanted to give that context that we could have gone. Many districts already moved because our board meeting came a little later than some. They had already moved. As I look at other districts and our team, I sent them out to get costs. We are still significantly below many other districts in the region. Cerritos, for example, is at $397. Los Angeles is at $359, Mount San Antonio is at $371. So with this kind of incremental increase, we're still going to be priced below many of our peers. So just wanted to bring that context.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. West. I do have one question. When was the last time that we had a fee increase in tuition? Do we know? Do we have a date?
I believe we did do one last year. You did not do one the year previous. So last year we did have a very small increase as part of the process because I remember it came up in discussions with the team and you did approve it. And so then this would be the second one in those 2 years. But 2 years ago, there was not an increase.
Was was last year's approval part of the incremental increase or was that separate?
It was not. It was separate at this time. And we did a small increase last year because again, we're looking at the total cost, the actual cost that students would pay to go. And so we just made a small increase last year. Again, initially the state said everybody's got to move up. And so we're happy that we're able to kind of step this forward as we go forward.
Okay, and do you happen to know what the amount was last year? Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
That's all right. I can pull this up. So we were thought we were around 3, because this is a $25 increase. We've kept the capital outlay fee the same, so it's really a $25 increase from year to year.
Okay. The only thing that I do remember that, but the only thing that I remember is that this board was opposed to, I believe it was a student service fee increase or for student services. I remember we had that discussion a couple years ago, the health fee. So I do remember that. Has there been an increase in that?
No, we have not increased that.
Good. I know the board was unanimous against that, so I'm happy that we could maintain that. Thank you very much. Any additional discussion? All right, we've got a motion and a second. Madam Secretary. Roll call vote, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe and Tuck. Sunny Zia.
Nay.
We move on to motion carries. Item 12.4, resolution of necessity, purchase of used vehicles. This is an action item. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution of necessity number 022124C to authorize the district to purchase used vehicles necessary for the automotive technology program as submitted. I have to continue reading this. The Long Beach Community College District Applied Technology and Culinary Arts Department offers courses in automotive technology, maintenance, and repairs, and a variety of previously owned motor vehicles are necessary for the automotive technology program to offer these courses. The district was informed that used car dealerships generally will not participate in competitively bid sale used vehicles and are generally unwilling to hold a used vehicle after completion of the competitive proposal process, thereby necessitating this resolution. I need a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion by trustee Untuck, second by trustee Baxter. Any discussion? Trustee
I
Baxter?
have discussion. Have we approached the public to see if they want to donate a car or a truck, or do they have to be very, very specific?
Typically, they're very, very specific in terms of the type of vehicle and type of training that we want our students to get, that type of hands-on training. So usually it's pretty specific. And these
Because I
are,
don't remember this happening before.
it has,
I've just forgotten.
okay, it has indeed happened before.
Okay.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? All right, we've got a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe and Tuck. Sunny Zia.
Aye.
I know the motion carries. I know it's too late, but in the future, I'd love to see, Dr. Douglas, if there's perhaps a dollar amount attached to that, so we know what the budget is for the purchase of those used vehicles. Maybe we can come back and get that information later offline.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're moving on to section 13 on the agenda, student services. There are no items. Section 14 on the agenda, reports, 14.1, board committee report. Trustee Untuck and I both sit on the Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee. We did have a meeting this past month. Trustee Untuck, would you please care to report?
Sure, I'll give a brief summary. We met on February 1st. President Malauulu and myself were briefed by Superintendent President Munoz and Vice President West on the status of the negotiations that have been ongoing with Long Beach Police Department on renewing our 3-year master agreement contract. It will come to the board, I believe, in March, or April, March. So it'll become before in March. And we stepped through the improvements that were added with the 21 CP, or they were the 21 CP community policing report that was done about 2 years ago, and the series of recommendations that have been added to the contract language. There's no change in staffing levels. There are some adjustments in hours and locations of where folks will be to be a little bit more efficient to the need and the times that folks are on campus. Also giving a little bit more coverage to the Pacific Coast campus. So I think it'll be a nice improvement and continued relationship. And I thought it was a very good presentation. And though I think the same presentation will be coming next month. So just heads up, it'll be live before everybody in March.
Thank you, Trustee Untuck. This is not a board report, but I just want to thank everyone who's been participating in the surveys for the Pacific Coast Campus renaming. I've gotten really positive feedback about the group that's running those discussions, and I'm happy that so many different people are being interviewed for that. So thank you for that. All right, so we're going to go to section 6, public comments on non-agenda items. 15 point, I'm sorry, did I say 6? That was odd. 15.1, public comments, Madam Secretary.
No requests received.
Okay, and section 16, a second closed session, which we do not have. Note the time, y'all, because now we get to the adjournment. Trustee Zia, do you have the name of the persons that you wanted to adjourn in memory of?
Sure. Mr. Ray Cordova and Mary Lama, Miss Mary Lama.
Thank you. I also had the benefit and privilege of meeting Brother Ray Cordova, and he was served as a great mentor to me, as in many of us in the labor movement, especially as a young novice, not really knowing my way in the political circles. He was very instrumental in having me be where I'm at right now. So I too would like to add his name to this. And then Trustee Untuck, you wanted to.
Could I just say something? It's funny how you know people, but I've known Ray Cordova, and it had nothing to do with labor, but he was the assistant to Senator Ralph Dills forever. And he went to Long Beach City College, and I always wanted to put him in the Hall of Fame, but he wouldn't do it because he said that wouldn't be fair to Senator Dills. So he was really a highly principled person.
That's
Sorry.
great. No, that's great. Trustee Untuck, you also wanted to adjourn in someone's name?
Yes, Carl Weathers. I did share the name with Michelle for the minutes.
Thank you very much. All right, so Section 17, adjournment, item 17.1. The next meeting of the Board of Trustees will be held on March 13th, 2024. Closed session at 4:30, open session at 5:30. And at this time, it is 7:10. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Vivian, did you write this or did, oh, okay, sure. That's for you. Sure.